Hi, my name is Steve. I have two children, a daughter and a younger son. As a parent, I have something very important to share with you today. As parents, we always want to give our precious children the very best of everything. That's why I make sure that my children get the best education, hoping that they will be successful one day and, more importantly, be happy in life. Isn't that why you bring your children to the best preschool you can find, even though the school fees are so expensive? Because you know how much of an impact a quality education can have on your children's lives. In my 15 years of experience in parenting, there's one very interesting thing that I've noticed. Although my first child and second child have grown up in the exact same environment, they excel in totally different fields. My daughter, who's the older one, is very good at playing the piano, but my son and I are total idiots musically. My son is very good at sports, and he loves to play basketball, but my daughter has no talent in this area at all. I've wondered why this is. Have you had the same experience? I've often wondered, if I had known that my first would be very good at the piano, and I'd sent her to piano school at a very early age, could she have been a concert pianist? Well, unfortunately, it's too late to develop her to be a pianist now. You see, the biggest problem you and I face as parents is, how should I mold my child? Which theory should I refer to? Should I raise him as a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer? Or should I let him or her become an artist or an athlete? Should I encourage him to be a businessman? Or, to put it another way, should I let my child pursue his or her own interest, or should I make him or her pursue something which will guarantee a bright future instead? Does this dilemma sound familiar to you? My wife and I were once like you. We didn't have an effective solution to this problem. We joined parent support groups at our children's schools. We talked with some of the senior teachers and some of my psychologist friends. They told us that every child has inborn talents. Whether it's your child or my child, they will definitely have something that they are good at. If your child doesn't have it now, it's just that you haven't discovered it yet. When we find out their inborn talents, we can raise and develop our children, aligning them with these special aptitudes. Like many other parents, I didn't find out my child's inborn talents at an early age, so I was faced with a lot of parenting problems. First of all, my wife and I wasted a lot of time exposing my children to as many extracurricular activities as possible, such as music class, dancing class, swimming class, trying to discover their talents. Of course, with all these classes, we also spent a lot of money and effort. To be honest with you, I even brought them to a face reading and feng shui session to see what their future might be. But none of these worked perfectly. When my children attended classes that they had no interest in other words, things that did not enhance and embrace their inborn talents, they would argue with my wife and I. They even started to hold grudges. Ultimately, my wife, my children, and I all suffered. Do you have the same problem? You see, when your children are not gifted in science, but are gifted in the arts, and you keep insisting that they study science, they start to feel inferior because they can't perform well in science. It just doesn't come naturally. They start to feel rejected, and they feel bad about themselves because they think that they're stupid. But in fact, had you put them into the arts environment, the whole situation would have been different. They would have felt motivated, happy, satisfied, and confident in what they enjoy doing. A real-life example. If I forced my son, who has no talent in music whatsoever, to sit in front of the piano every week, he will certainly feel frustrated. In simple words, it's very important to discover what your child is gifted in. When your child does something he doesn't like, or something against his inborn talents, he will do the least amount of work possible just to get through it. If they're forced to be in this environment for a long period of time, this will become a habit to them. So later on, used to having an attitude of giving just the bare minimum, they'll end up with a mediocre life. They're destined to lead an unfulfilled, unhappy, frustrated, and dissatisfied life. Without you understanding what your child's inborn talents are, your child is in for disaster. So the crucial question is, if God has given your child great inborn talent, do you know what it is? How do you find out in the early stages of life before it's too late? And most importantly, will your child in his whole lifetime ever have the chance to discover his talent? When you hold the key to open the treasure in your children, when you hold the tool to find out your child's inborn talents, all of the above parenting problems will disappear and your child will have a much greater chance to be successful and happy in their life. Imagine, if your child achieves their maximum potential, how proud and happy you'll feel because of their success. Now, I'm going to share with you a scientific and biological approach to identifying your child's inborn talents and inborn personality traits. Worldwide renowned scientists have spent more than 10 years discovering and developing this cutting-edge technology. It's derived from the latest 3D nanotechnology combined with more than 300 years of medical research in dermatoglyphics, which is the scientific study of fingerprints, and cerebral research, which is the scientific study of the human brain. This is the key to success for your child. Discover your child's talents and unleash their potential to achieve their dreams and happiness now. Get your fingerprint profile and help your child get started in the right direction. As the classic Chinese proverb says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. As for me, as a parent, I believe that the journey to success for my child also begins with a single step in the right direction. Get your fingerprint profile now.